So you've had really good SATs results, but this is part of a journey, isn't it? Can you take us back to, I guess, the beginning for you here?
Yes, well, I arrived in 2008, but prior to me arriving here, the school had been in special measures in 2005, and the staff had remained with the school and stayed with the school and been loyal to us. I arrived in 2008. There'd been an interim head teacher in the meantime who got the school out of special measures. So when I arrived, it was on the road to recovery. But in the last 2 years, we've worked very, very hard. We have had our foot on the accelerator in all departments and all areas. And now we've reached, well, we think we've got the icing on the cake, perhaps not the cherry, but we've now reached in the 90s with maths and English, which is the best we've actually ever done. So we're absolutely thrilled, the staff thrilled, the children delighted, we told the parents, and everyone's really, really pleased for us. So.
And where does that place you amongst the 42 schools in the borough?
Well, generally in average point scores ranking, we're about third in the local authority. We were originally, when I first arrived, around 22nd, around in the 20s, but now we've come up sort of in the top 5, which is wonderful. I think it's given everyone a new lease of life, really, and the drive to continue and do even better, hopefully next year.
So how do you pull a school around like that? It's not a matter of just clapping your hands and say, come on everybody, improve, is it?
No, well, when you first arrive, obviously you've got to sit down and think about all the things that are actually going right and work with the things that are going right first. You don't sort of take everything away and start from scratch, and build on those good things that the school's already got. And he did have lots of good things. But we had to sit down and look at teaching, because we knew teaching was something that we needed to improve. And also things like assessment for learning, the way in which we mark the children's work, it's all those kinds of things. The ethos of the school was absolutely wonderful, the children's behaviour was excellent, so I didn't have to work on that at all, so that was one of the good things. So we have to start from that point and move forward, really. So the staff, we all sat down together, decided what the things we really need to work on. It's things like maybe writing and things like that. Which is still an element we still need to work on. I think that's right through the country, really. And each year we put a school development plan together. And then after 2 terms of being here, Ofsted came and really confirmed things we already knew, of things we had to work on. And so we went from there. It was actually very helpful having Ofsted in, because, like I say, it confirmed our views on where we were. And from that point we moved on, and it just went from strength to strength, really. The teaching here is good to outstanding. All members of staff know exactly what it is to have an outstanding lesson. We've all experienced that. And you know, every year we find other things that we need to work on just to make us stronger. And so that's why we've ended up with results in the 90s this year. So. And
what about you're not a school that operates in isolation though. What about your relationship with the community?
Not. We have a lot. We do a lot of work with the community. We work really well with all the schools on this field. We have lots of we do lots of work together, especially with the infant school. I'm very, very friendly with the head next door, and everything we do, we include the infants include us, and so you know we do lots of things together. But not just that, we work with the community, with our parents. We recently had a grandparents' day, and we invited sort of elderly people from the local community. We work with schools from different countries, and in this country as well. We are very strong when it comes to the community cohesion, and that's one thing we've got actually outstanding for in Ofsted. So pleased with that.
And did you not have a relationship with school in South Africa?
We do. We have a relationship with school in South Africa. One of our teachers actually went out on a visit. It's organised by the local authority. She went out there for a week and she had a wonderful experience. One of our teachers goes usually every year. It's a different country. But this particular school was a township school, and when she came back with the photographs, my children, the school council, decided that it might be a good idea, and we put it to the whole of the school, if we actually saved up all our Sainsbury's vouchers and sent the children the vouchers to get a whole PE set and the games equipment, and that arrived in May, I think it arrived, and we've had some emails saying how thrilled they were. And we're now waiting for some photographs from them, so yeah, they were delighted. So we do try and stretch ourselves out to everybody in the community, so the children are very generous.
And here we are on the last 7 days of your school year. Do you have a 1-year plan or a 5-year plan as you look ahead?
Well, the vision really is sort of probably more like 3 years ahead, really. We are looking, and possibly with some items, depending on if it's building items, things, we do look further than that. But our school development plan looks mostly at the next year ahead of how we can improve things for the next year, but partially as well into the future. We have to have a vision for the future of where we're going. But you know, in these kind of uncertain times, we do tend to look at the moment for the next year ahead, and focus on the real important things that we want. For example, the achievement of the children. That's really important.
There was a real sense of permanence with the heads in the senior schools. The 10 schools, the heads have been there for a substantial amount of time, and some say it's reflected in their success in the senior schools. How important is it, and I guess this may be a question for somebody else, that you are a substantive head and you've been here now for a while?
Yeah, it is important. I think every school needs a permanent head. Mind you, this school did have an interim head for 4 years. And so really she was like a permanent head, and she was wonderful, and the staff absolutely loved her here. So she did a wonderful job. So I think it all depends on the person really, and but you've got to be committed to your school. It's a 24-hour day job, it really is. You can't just be here a few hours and disappear. I spend as much time as I can here. I'm here long hours. It's a hard job, it's not an easy job, but it's a really rewarding job. And I do love my school and my work. So.